Hi guys, welcome to my month 8 video. I can't believe we're here. It's been 8 months. It's kind of crazy to think about, but all good things, some bad things, we'll get into all of it. But before I begin, I of course have to give a shout out to my patrons. We're growing. We have Deidre, Jeremy Eggerman, Riff, Alex, and Julio Flores. So I can't believe it. The amount of support and kind words that you guys have to say is just, it's insane to me. And I just feel like I'm unworthy. Thank you so much, guys. Seriously, it means so much to me that I have such a caring, sweet community, and I hope we can keep this up. So thanks again. I think it's so cringe that I have to do this, just like every YouTuber, but honestly, likes, comments, and subscribes are always helpful. So if you can, do it, please. So the reason why I'm a week late on this video is because I actually just got lab results back, and it turns out that my testosterone levels are undetectable, meaning I have 0 testosterone. And I know what you're thinking, testosterone, who's she? Bye. No, we need her, guys. We need her in small amounts, okay? So it's been really interesting going through this, and so there has to be adjustments to be made. So I'm getting off of the bicalutamide, and my doctor actually suggested that I take a testosterone gel cream type of formula just to get me a little bit. And so there is a concern that I'm talking through with him right now. It's just that I'm doing laser hair removal. And so if I do take this cream, I wonder, is that going to set me backwards? Is this going to cause any other virilization? Like, I need to know these things. So I'm going to investigate this further, and I'm going to talk to my doctor more and just see what I could find online. And if I find anything out, I'll just post it next time. Just stay tuned. So although we want to control testosterone, we don't want to eliminate it. Cisgendered women actually produce anywhere between 20 to 50. And so we're trying to mimic our biology to cisgendered women, obviously. And it's an issue because if you have 0 testosterone, that is actually kind of dangerous because it is responsible for healthy neurological functions. It can, if you don't have enough, it can make you depressed. It can give you mood swings. It can make you anxious. It can actually just, ruin your sex drive. And I've actually had trouble with that as well. I still have function, but like things like ejaculation it's just off the table. It's just not happening anymore. So that is something that you can expect if you have 0 testosterone. Not a good idea. Please don't do it. So needless to say, I have to get off of the bicalutamide. I'm just going to be on the estradiol valerate and the micronized progesterone. Those alone have been obviously extremely effective at combating the testosterone. And I thought that this is going to be a really difficult journey to get that testosterone under control, but I guess not. This is like somewhat of a positive thing, but really not. Like, because now I have to make adjustments. I have to look into possibly getting on a testosterone cream, which, raises concerns because I don't know enough about that. I've been doing research. I've been reaching out. I've been trying to communicate with my doctor, and it's been very difficult finding motivation or energy to do anything without the testosterone. And I'm just loaded on caffeine right now to make this possible. So I'm doing my best. So I was thinking about how to keep my content helpful and relevant. And so I was thinking about how one of the biggest things that have helped me with my gender identity and everything is laser hair removal. It has been a total game changer with everything. And so I was thinking about how I could help out with information regarding that and information regarding like how I got that covered by insurance. It was actually a system that I did research on. I tried to find loopholes. I tried to do everything I could to make it possible, and it worked. So I'll go ahead and share exactly what I did to get my laser hair removal covered by insurance. So the important thing to remember about laser hair removal is that it is considered to be a cosmetic procedure. And so getting your insurance to cover it is not exactly easy, not at all. Like, my doctor told me I was the very first one that he has ever seen do it. but there is a way. So you just have to first contact your insurance. You have to ask them if this type of thing is going to be covered. And in order to find out, they're going to ask you about a diagnosis code and a procedure code. And I actually have that written down. Let's see. So if you provide them a procedure code for laser hair removal, that's going to be 17111. And the diagnosis code that I used was L73.1, and that's pseudofolliculitis barbae. That is just a fancy word for ingrown hairs. And I'm pretty sure, most people have it. It's not hard to be diagnosed with ingrown hairs. So after providing them with those codes, what they're gonna do is give you an answer. They're gonna say yes or no. And if they say yes, I would take it as an opportunity to ask for co-pays, out-of-pocket expenses, limitations of coverage, any of the other facts that you should know. And if they say no, don't give up hope. There's still another way. I'll cover that later in the video. So the next step is to actually find an in-network dermatologist that provides laser hair removal. And so when you do, make sure to shave beforehand. So I noticed that when I shave, it usually takes the next day or the next 2 days to figure out exactly when you get that redness, inflammation, when it looks the worst. Figure out when that is and time it accordingly and go to the doctor exactly when it is the worst it could possibly be, because you're going to need them to diagnose you. They have to see it. And also they're gonna have to take pictures too, because in case there's a prior authorization, meaning if insurance thinks that they need proof, they can submit pictures. And so it's very important to ask your dermatologist to take pictures as well, because you don't want to have to go through that twice. What I did when I was interacting with my doctor, I was explaining to him that these ingrown hairs were actually causing infections, that it was actually extremely painful, it would bleed, and it was affecting my self-image, and also that my job requires me to be clean shaven every single day, and my feminized skin can't handle that anymore. It's a lot more delicate, it's a lot more sensitive, and that I would just have really raw, gross, cut up, infected, inflamed skin, and that it's affecting my professional life, it's affecting my personal life, it's affecting my quality of life, my relationships. I really went in and explained exactly how inconvenient and how much of a medical necessity it is for me. And so it's really helpful to kind of portray that so that they can actually write you a letter for medical necessity if you're not covered by insurance. That's exactly when you would ask. And then what that letter is going to include is obviously their observations, their recommendations, the diagnosis code, and the procedure code. And it could be either faxed or mailed or whatever you prefer. So that is kind of the last resort if you haven't gotten approval from your insurance. And at that point, that should be the end of the process. But it wasn't the end for me, because my doctor has never seen this before. He was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Let's just do face and neck for now, and then just see what happens. And I was like, okay, sure, fine, because I actually requested to do full body. So, but then a couple days later, he even told me that he wasn't comfortable doing it at all, because he just wasn't sure again what if they were going to cover it or not. And then that's when if you're going through that, you got to level with your doctor. Just say, hey, I'm willing to take my chances. If it doesn't go through, then I'm going to pay it out of pocket. No worries. This is not going to be, a loss for you. It's going to be on me. And that's what I said. And it totally worked out. And so we did it and it totally worked. And so I was in the clear. And then so once that happens, you might get at a point with your doctor to where you're experimenting a little bit. So we figured out that in my case, I'm able to make a claim every 2 weeks. So it was just kind of an alternation every 2 weeks between face, neck, and legs. And so that works out perfectly. So once I'm done doing face, then I can, put in another area that I want. Anyway, if you made it this far, I'm proud of you, because that was very dry and it was very boring. And so I'm glad I got through that. So next thing I want to talk about are, of course, the physical changes and the emotional changes. So we'll get into that, especially the emotional changes. That's been really big. I think that there really comes a point in time where you get slammed with the emotions, like, and that's been month 8 for me. So, but we'll start with physical. As far as physical changes go, I mean, I've definitely experienced a little bit more breast growth. I think that's the extent of it. I haven't really noticed any other fat distribution. And I will say that if you have 2 different size boobs, that's totally normal. Cisgender women talk about it all the time. It's like over 90% of them have some sort of unevenness. And so for me, it's my left. And for many people, it's the left. I guess it's because it's bigger because it's closer to the heart, is what some people say. And then other people say it depends on what side you sleep on, which kind of sounds silly, but also has logic. Anyway, that's such a digression. But what I noticed too is it doesn't stay uneven in my case. It's just kind of like you might be on this like cycle where they grow differently, like at different paces and at different rates. So what happens is the left one will kind of grow, and then the right one will catch up, and then the left one will grow, right one will catch up, and then so eventually there's this point where they're like totally even, but while they're still growing, it's happening at different times and different rates, and they just kind of like meet in the middle at some point. And like when that happens, I just get so much relief. So yeah, I mean, it's not easy admitting that. I think that's like kind of an insecurity that people have, but I'm like not keeping any secrets on here, because otherwise what's the point? Anyway, so I guess that this is the moment that I'm gonna do the little twirl that I hate so much, and that is super awkward, but you know, time to show you how things have changed. So I forgot to mention too that having the 0 testosterone problem really messed with my appetite too, and I haven't been eating much, so I lost weight. So yeah, I'll just show you. So this is the front profile. You can kind of see I've lost some weight like around my waist, and I lost some butt too, which I'm like honestly pretty upset about. But that's the back, and yeah, it's not my best, but hopefully in the future it gets better. So that covers the physical side of things. I'm gonna move on to the emotional side of things. Now, for the emotional side of things, I really wanted to cover this, but then I realized that it's hard for me to differentiate whether this is an estrogen progesterone development or if it's a 0 testosterone development. But I've reached a point in my life to where I'm a lot more in touch with my emotions, and I'm a lot more I guess emotional and just vulnerable. So I actually have a friend that, you know, we'd be sexual with each other. It was kind of like friends with benefits situation, and I started to catch feelings, and I don't know how, because it's been several months of this arrangement, and you know, it's just been fun. It's just been cool. We'd hang out, we'd chill, and then like something changed, but nothing really changed besides myself. And then so it became a situation where I just start crying, like, you know, this is how I feel. This is, you know, like, I want to talk about it. I want to know how you feel. And just like really cringy stuff that I don't do. So it was like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Again, like, I don't want to blame everything on estrogen and, you know, testosterone and progesterone and stuff like that, because this is like normal things that normal people do. Like, no matter what your gender identity is, you're going to start catching feelings for people. You're going to start this and that. But I guess what I'm trying to communicate is that, like, I may not have discovered these feelings if I haven't been so in touch with my emotions, which is something I've noticed came with estrogen. So I guess this is an example of how it affects my psychology. It's just the introspect that I have now discovered within myself that allows me to explore the introspective, like, you know, reflecting questions. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all I have for emotions. And I know I'm going to be asked, what happened? What happened? But I don't think that's going to be relevant to this channel. So I'm just going to leave that private, and eliminate the need for anyone to ask that question. All right, and I wanted to take this opportunity to answer some questions about me. I'm 5'8", I'm a Sagittarius, I'm 27 years old. I weigh 150 pounds now. I used to be 155, but then the depression I just mentioned earlier. I am only attracted to men. I'm not bisexual or pansexual or anything like that. And the medications I'm on, I used to be on several different medications. I began with estrogen and finasteride. Then I changed to estrogen and bicalutamide. And then I changed to estrogen, bicalutamide, and progesterone. And now I've began a regimen with just estrogen, progesterone, and potentially a testosterone cream just to bring up that testosterone to just enough, hopefully a 20, because we want to stay within the 20 to 50 range on testosterone. I was asked about the milligrams. So 50 milligrams of the progesterone, micronized progesterone. And for the estrogen, I have been told to take the injection once a week, but I decided to half the actual amount. So the once a week amount was 0.09 ml. And then I divided it to twice a week with 0.045 ml. And so I like the results better that way because I get less dips and peaks. It's more consistent and it actually mimics your natural biology more, just because, you know, when you're producing hormones, it's not just like, oh, once a week, just like that. It's actually just kind of like a continuous thing. So theoretically, the more you can do it, the more you can break it up throughout the week, the better. And that's what I've been doing, and I've been loving the results. So I talked to my doctor about that. It wasn't just an independent thing that I'm doing on my own. I brought it to their attention, and they told me that it's actually a good idea. So yeah. Guys, so that's all I have for month 8. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, please consider being a patron. I absolutely love chatting with my patrons. We have a lot of fun together. And yeah, so if you would like to see anything else on my channel, please write in the comment section what you'd like to see. That's honestly really helpful because, you know, my content is meant to be helpful and help me help you. So that's all I got. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.